What's the dumbest thing you were paid to do and how much were you paid? I was flown to Paris to do a compliance audit. The systems weren't set up for the audit. Couldn't get access, so spent the week being taken to restaurants and shopping. On one of the days and at the last minute, the company decided to send me into London for a meeting. Literally just to meet people. I missed the Eurostar because I forgot my passport. Totally blanked that I was entering another country. They had to rebook the Eurostar. Nothing was achieved out of this trip. No audit was completed. Nothing came of the meeting. The cost to the company $25,000 for me to do nothing for a week. Corporate money is ridiculous money. $175 to do some kind of user study at Netflix. I show up in the lobby and then they go, "Actually, we got the data we needed from the studies earlier today. You're free to go." Quote. Still got paid. I was paid $50 to assemble some brand new gym equipment for a friend because her husband had been dragging his feet for months. I open up the box, pulled it out, and made the easiest $50 of my life because it was pre-assembled. I just took 10 seconds to unfold it and was done. She was furious with her husband, and still paid me to spite him. Okay, this wasn't a job or anything, but I got $10 to eat half a watermelon. I used to work for a PR agency. Every month one of our clients wanted a handful of photos resized for their website. Nothing fancy. Just setting the width to 500px in Windows Photo Manager. It was maybe 10 minutes of work every month. But the contract said the minimum amount of time we would charge them for was 1 day, and this was for the full team too. Not just me. It must have cost them several £100 every month. I showed the client how to do it several times, and explained that they could save a lot of money doing it themselves. They didn't seem to mind. In the end, I made sure I got it in writing that I'd informed them of their options and let them get on with it. Hang a TV. Then make sure that TV worked the following day and then take the TV down the day after. Made $1,000. When I was like 20. Got hired to be an assistant for some event in Hollywood. I carried 1 box of liquor into the place and they gave me a walkie-talkie and said they'd let me know when they needed me for anything else. Waited a while with no calls and found that next door they were holding a yoga class for AA members. Poked my head in the door, and they invited me to join them. So I did. After the yoga, I went to return the walkie-talkie and the guy says, "Oh, we didn't use you at all. Did we?" Got $60. Got paid 40,000 United States dollars to not show up at work. It was the financial crisis and there was a hiring freeze right before I was due to start work. The company I was to work for couldn't honor the employment contract we signed. But it was all very sudden and my would-be bosses felt bad enough about the situation that they offered me half a year's salary as a gesture of goodwill. I'm a hobbyist's woodturner. It's more of a passion. Once as a joke, early into my hobby, I made a wooden butt plug and posted on my Instagram. Again, as a joke. I immediately had an acquaintance message me asking if I could make her one that was obviously safe for the human body and various other business that such an item would interact with. So I did. Totally safe for the human body. She paid me well for it. Later, her followers were messaging me asking I could make them some. And now, that's something I do often. Some 20-something years ago, I was 16 and working for a startup pizza place. The owners had no idea what they were doing in the beginning. They just wanted to sell pizzas. Went on to become a major chain, making the owners pretty wealthy. This takes place in Europe. So, I delivered pizza. There was a fee of the equivalent of $4 for each pizza. Plus tips. Well, there was a lot of demand. And it was a small place. So you could deliver multiple pizzas within a 15-minute period. So, on busy nights I could make $50 an hour. Sometimes more. After a year or so, the owners figured that the delivery boys were making more money than them, and changed it to $10 an hour. Which is not bad. But most of us quit anyways. Still to this day one of the better paying jobs I have ever had. I tutored for the 21-year-old daughter of a wealthy family and charged around $65 an hour. I warned in advance that I still charged for cancellations if there was less than 24 hours notice. But she would regularly arrange 6-hour sessions or longer, then cancel on the day. I told them and let them off the charge the first few times. But nothing changed, so I thought, fuck it, person shrugging. For 6 months or so, I was probably making an extra $400 on average per week just for cancellations. Got paid $300 to shovel my neighbor's front steps and driveway while she was away on vacation all winter. It did not even flurry once. My job means having special knowledge in a certain field of law. For this, I got my job to do and get my payment. Nothing special. But every now and then I'm summoned to court as expert witness given my oh-so-special, oh-so-in-depth knowledge about that legal field. In fact, being summoned to court means 40% playing mobile games in front of the courtroom waiting until I'm finally called. 55% reading aloud files for people who have the same files in front of them and would have known everything if they had actually read them, and 5% actually answer questions, procedures about my legal field. When I was younger, my geography teacher realized I was the only one paying attention. Second last class on a Friday. Most people were antsy. So he stopped in the middle of his lecture once and said, "I'll give all the change in my pockets to anyone who can repeat back to me what I've been saying this past minute." He tried a few of my other classmates for fun, but the most they could guess was the general topic. He got to me and I was able to recite what he was talking about. And he gave me all his change. I got paid enough money for a carton of chocolate milk and a scone for paying attention. My friend asked me to clean out his guinea pig cage because he couldn't be bothered that day. In payment, he gave me his copy of Zoo Tycoon 2 for PC. Earned €700 monthly for an internship which consisted of me sitting around all day, waiting for work which wouldn't come because the company fucked up the internship offer and accidentally hired someone they didn't need at all. So basically I was being paid to take the train in the morning and then back in the evening. Go retrieve a school chicken sandwich from the cafeteria. I was paid $10 for my vigorous labor. I got asked to do 2 hours of barrier watch, guarding a barrier ribbon while a crew did X-rays inside a power plant. This was asked last minute after a 12-hour shift, so the bonuses of staying happening to be a Sunday, etc. I was being paid $110 to stand and play on my phone and make sure nobody tried to pass all the do not enter danger signs during a time of day with minimal personnel. 25 years ago, and in Indiana, the law was that in order to operate nail salon, someone there must hold a full cosmetology license, not just a nail technician license. A nail salon opened next to the hair salon I worked at and they all held nail technician licenses. And the one who held a cosmetology license would be delayed in Korea for a week for whatever reason. At 18 years old, I was paid $25 an hour to merely to sit in the nail salon as the holder of the license. I answered no phones, tended to no clients, did nothing but paint my own nails repeatedly and watch TV for an entire week. Was a sweet, sweet gig. I'm a therapist and I often respond to the sights of things like bank robberies or accidents. When you see on the news that crisis counselors are on site, that's me. Sometimes it can be intense psychological first aid. But it's often sitting around waiting for someone who wants to come talk. Sometimes I'm just there so the PR people can say that services are available. This is especially true with industrial accidents and layoffs. I get paid significantly more for these types of assignments. Sometimes as much as $70 per hour, and the clock starts when I leave my home to travel to the site. I've had multiple days spent riding my motorcycle to the site, reading a book for 8 hours and riding home and never speaking to a single person. $500 in my pocket for the day.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.